tendencies to run it anyways. I'm
What
gonna.
is it? What's the max GS?
Okay, so we are recording now. Apologies about the late start. Like I said, there was a meeting that got scheduled for 2 o'clock, and I needed to be at to represent you guys and your interests. All right, so we're going to talk really quickly. This is story time with Uncle Deej. All right, so my suggestion that I just made to everyone before we started recording was to, if you are able to, look into the JUMP program. If you're not already in the master's program, if you're doing a bachelor's, look into the JUMP program, because what that would have you do is you get to count some of the courses you take as an undergraduate as graduate courses. And they allow you to count that towards your bachelor's and toward a master's, so that once you graduate, you get your bachelor's, you do one more year, so 2 more semesters, and then you have a master's degree. So let's talk really quickly about the difference, right? So they have these things called labor categories, right? And so when I'm hiring you to work on a project, let me just see. All right, okay. So right here, these are labor categories, right? So this tells me, don't worry about this right here where it says price, right? So this is a labor category. So logistics specialist. Ignore that price. I don't know what the crap that is, but it's not there. So education needs a bachelor's and 5 years of experience. To be called a logistics specialist, you need a bachelor's and 5 years of experience. Associated with that is going to be an hourly rate that I will charge the government for your labor. Okay? So let's say that the hourly rate that I will charge the government is $42.68 per hour. This is how much for that logistics specialist, right? Somebody, that's really low for a bachelor's.
When I was a contractor at GE, they were charging GE $72 an hour for me to work there.
Was it a government contract though?
They deal with carbon fiber for aviation.
Okay.
And then I was only getting paid $28. I'm like, what the?
Well, that's kind of how it works, right? So, so this is the hourly rate. And this is how much I charge the government, and then this would be annual. This is the annual rate. So what we do here is we make a formula, and it's the hourly rate times 1920. Why 1920? Well, 2080, that's the number of working hours in a year. But typically, you're not going to work all 80 hours. Like, you're going to have some vacation time, etc. So we figure it up at 1920. Right? So, sorry. This tells me how much per year I'm going to charge the government for you. All right? So I need to pay you a particular amount of money, right? And usually what people aim for is a rate. So it's they want the annual rate to be no less than 1.6 times this hourly rate. Okay, so let's figure out what 1.6 times. Let me insert something in here. Actually, I'll just do it in this line, right? So do a little formula of C3 times 1.6. Okay, that's not it. I need C3 times 1.6 times 1920. That ain't right. Is it right? Yes, that's right. I'm doing it backwards. So this is, yeah, that's not going to work. So this is the hourly rate that I charge the government. What I want to pay you is whatever I pay you, I want this to be 1.6 times higher, right? So we can do that. So we do, okay, we're going to do some math. So this would be the max that I would pay you for this labor rate. And the math is C3, I think, divided by, I think this was, oh yeah, slash.
Is this what you did when you were a project manager? You just did this all day?
I don't like project management.
Okay.
No, I was just like, hey, let's pay them this much. And they're like, we can't afford to pay them that much. I'm like, yes, you can. You're a huge company. Pay them. All right, so max is $39.19, right? And then I'll figure out some minimum. Minimum would be C3 divided by 2.2. Right, so this is how I come up with a range of how much I'm going to pay you hourly, right? And so that turns out to be, this is hourly, and this is annual. So annual, that is B7 times 1920. Actually, that needs to be times 2080. It goes over here. So when you look at job listings and they say something like the pay band is from this amount to this amount, this is what they're talking about, right? So you work for a contractor and I'll tell you that the salary for the job that you're applying for is somewhere between $60,000 and $82,000. That's the pay band, right? And I can give you these exact little numbers, whatever, right? And I know that I'm going to charge that much for you. Then I have benefits that I have to worry about, like you have 3 weeks of vacation, that's going to come out of it. Okay, I give people 3 weeks of vacation when you start. Other people may give less than that, right? And there's like health insurance, there's a cost for health insurance, there's a cost for other things, the benefits that you get provided, all the fringe stuff. So all of that gets added up. So you have something called a burdened rate. And the burdened rate is how much it costs me for your labor per hour, including all of the benefits. If you qualify for this labor category that has an hourly rate of $62.68, let's go back here and see, what's this high school crap? Let's go and find, so I don't know what this thing is, education level, here we go. Let's look at masters. Enter? Does that work? Okay, here's master's degree. All right. Now, let's if we're talking masters, it's going to be higher. So, so here's functional analyst 4. Exclude this. No, I don't want to find that. So how do I search by? Here we go. Let's look at functional analyst. You can do it.
I need to change labor category to something else.
No, I want it. Can I use a star? No. Boy, this is dumb. Okay, so functional analyst. Here we go. Let's do ascending education.
Holy cow.
Oh, well, because I need
Is that like
to
an hour?
clear this up. Yeah, that's per hour.
You're not getting $202 an hour.
Yeah, you're not getting that, but they can charge the government that, right? So, okay, functional analyst expert 1, master's degree and 1 year of experience. $143.58 is what the GSA rate is for that. Now, understand that there are contractors and vendors that have different negotiated rates, so it's fine. But look at this, master's degree and 5 years of experience. Now I can charge $229 an hour for you. So if I can charge $229 an hour for you, let's just pop back over here and look. $229 an hour. That's C13 times 1920. That's a lot of dang money. That's $439,000 that I'm charging for you per year. So how much can I pay you?
Like $130,000.
10% of that.
130. I'm making $300K on you. Dang. Yes, please come work for me. No. So
Probably pretty cool.
if you got half of that, would you be happy if you were making $220 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So,
But you're not.
but you're not. Yeah. So a lot of companies they want to get you as cheaply as they can. But if you're pulling in $440,000 a year for the company, they should easily pay you $200K and not really worry about it. Right? So what I'm saying is, because we have this, like functional analyst expert, functional analyst 4 is a master's and 8 years of experience. But you also see what comes into here as certifications. Right? So functional analyst 3, 9311, 15 years. Functional analyst expert 4, 10 years of experience, master's degree, right?
Yeah.
These are different vendors, so that kind of doesn't make sense. But typically what you'll see, let me go back here. Typically what you'll see is something like this. It's functional analyst 1. Oh, they always do it this way. Functional analyst 2, functional analyst 3, functional analyst 4, functional analyst 5. And then you'll see the rates will go something like this, like 52.13.
Before I forget, this should be like something in your 401 class. I feel like people need to know this.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good spot for this.
Right. So if we now look at how much I'll be billing you for the year, equals H7 times 1920. Make that money. Okay. Right. So these labor categories. Functional analyst 1 is a bachelor's and 0 years of experience, right? Functional analyst 2 is a bachelor's and 2 years of experience, or master's and 0 years of experience. So you can see the difference. I can be charging $100,000 for you or $130,000 for you. If you come out with a master's, I can charge $30,000 more a year for you. So how much of that can I pass along to you? I can easily pass along a third of it. Like that's another 10 grand a year. But most of the time, the difference between this is starker. There's a higher jump, right? So it's going to take into account your certifications, your education level, and your years of experience. And getting a master's will typically raise your salary by quite a bit. So if you go another year of school, then you'll have a master's, and that'll count at least 2 years of experience on these labor categories, and that means that you can command a higher salary. Right? Somebody with a master's degree in cybersecurity with 0 years of experience, I would anticipate that starting at somewhere between 80 to 100 a year. Somebody with a bachelor's in cybersecurity, I would anticipate starting somewhere between 60 and 80 per year. So you see that having that master's degree can increase the amount of money that you can make. It also gives you a little bit more education, right? Which is good. And so most companies have an HR formula where they plug in your education, your years of experience, your certifications in your field, and they come up with some magic number to offer you. And if you're negotiating with me and I offer you $80,000 and I really need to fill this functional analyst 2 spot, and you have a master's degree and I offer you $80,000 and you say, well, most of my friends that are going into these kind of positions, they're making closer to 90, and I have a couple of offers that are closer to 90. I really want to work for you, but it's really hard for me to take that much less, right? If I'm looking at this and I can charge 130 for you, and I really like you, and you really want to work here, I can kick in another $7 or $8 grand for you and bump it up to bump it up to 87 instead of 80, right? However, if you only have a bachelor's and you're telling me like, oh yeah, I need to be making 6 figures, right? Am I going to pay you $100,000 when that's all I can charge for you? No, I'm not going to make that your salary because I still have to cover health benefits and time off and other and holidays and crap like that. So I'm not going to do that. Right? So I apologize if you were bored to death during that discussion, but I just wanted to give you guys some insight into what it looks like from the other side. When I'm hiring you, how am I determining how much you're going to get paid? The other thing that I like to consider with people is I want to hire you at a rate where I'm going to be able, so right here, if I hire you in at $90,000, I'm making zero money on you really after you figure in benefits and all that stuff. And then when it comes time to give you a raise, if I give you a raise, now I'm making negative money on you. And that's not what I want to do. So I try to hire people at a level where I'm going to be able to give you a decent raise if you do a good job, and bonuses and those sort of things. Right? But if I'm already losing money on you or, not making any money on you really, that's a bad situation to be in because in 2 years, you can hop up to this one. But that first year, if I'm paying you, $95,000 and not making any money on you or losing money on you, it's going to hurt me to give you a raise because then I'm going to be losing even more money, right? So I know that has absolutely zero to do with our class, but I just wanted to put that out there because I know some people that have come to me in the last month or so that have been like, hey, I really want to be in the JUMP program, but I didn't hear about it until it was too late. So if you are at all interested in getting a master's degree, consider the JUMP program here because that will allow you to have just 1 year more of school instead of 2 to get a master's, and then that'll bump you up into the higher pay band. Now, understand that these numbers I just pulled out of a hat, right? I just made these up. These are not exact numbers anywhere, right? But the numbers where I say somewhere between 60 and 80 for a bachelor's in cybersecurity in defense sector, and somewhere between 80 and 100 for a master's, those aren't numbers that I made up. That's actually what I've seen. So stay in school for another year, get a master's, and then you can make 15 to 25,000 more per year. So it's a really good deal in my book. And you guys know I'm not gonna tell you something just because it's good for the university. I'm gonna put you guys first. But this really is a good thing for you to do.
Is there a cutoff point when you can join the JUMP program? Or?
I imagine there is because I know some people have run into it, and there are a few people that I've ran into that find out about JUMP during their senior year or something, and they're able to go back and talk to them, and I've had to sign some forms for people to switch from the undergraduate level of my courses to the grad level in the middle of the semester, sorry. So I don't know exactly what the cutoff is, but there's a lady named Tressa Moore, sorry I had these dumb Invisaligns, Tressa Moore down in advising, who would love to talk to you about the JUMP program if you're interested. You can set up an appointment with her and kind of chat with her.
So that's the pay for like government contracting, right?
Mhm.
What's the pay for if you have your bachelor's, like, and you're in private sector?
So in government contracting, it's fairly easy for me to see how much you're worth because I'm going to be charging somebody for every hour you work, right? In private sector, it's different. Every company kind of has their own formula for how they're going to pay you because they're not paying you. You're not going out and earning money and they're keeping a portion of it. They're paying out of their money, their profits. They're paying out of their profits for you. So they have to have some kind of determination of how much money you're worth to them. How much are you going to increase their profits, right? So what products are you going to be working on? How are you going to affect those products? How much worth do you have, right? If you're in sales, it's fairly simple to figure that out, right? You're going to sell $1 million worth of stuff. I'm going to pay you $105,000, and then, we're happy. Are you happy? Maybe. Depends on how much travel you have to do and if you like that and how many hours a week you're working, right?
And bonuses.
And bonuses, and if you have to go home at night and feel bad because you're lying to people and selling them crap product, But if you're like a developer or you're a cybersecurity person, it's a little bit harder for them to figure out exactly how much you're worth. But big companies have a lot of money. Banks have billions of dollars. So in general, you're going to make more money out in the private sector, but they're going to expect more out of you. Like I know for a fact that I could go get a job at Amazon right now and make at least $250,000. But I like it here. I want to be in Huntsville. I like having a chance to work with you guys, and I like owning my own company. So I'm not interested in doing that. But when I was at NSA, that happened all the time. Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, they're snagging people from there all the time. But you have to really know your stuff to command that kind of salary. And they're not going to be a defense contractor. As long as you meet these minimum requirements, I can put your butt in a seat and I can charge for you. But out in the private sector, I have no tolerance for people who aren't doing their job. If you're not performing, you're out. You're fired. Now, if you want to get a job where if you work a decent amount for a couple of years, it's going to be really hard to fire you. Let me introduce you to government service, right? Government service, where you can go and you can work for a couple years, and once you're past that probationary period, you don't have to do your job, and they can't fire you unless you commit time card fraud or spying on U.S. persons, and now we added sexual harassment. Right?
Even murder. Kind of like
So, do not go back to your parents who work for the government and say, DJ said you're a lazy piece of crap, right? No. DJ said that some people in government are lazy pieces of crap. And I guarantee you, if you know somebody that works in the government, and you ask them, do you know someone who's a lazy piece of crap? They're going to be like, let me tell you about Susan, right?
Like Susan.
I have an office, yeah. Some people like that. I go to church with some people who work for the government. And they're like, what? You had a government civilian job and you left it? And I'm like, yes, I did. Because I can't stand this, just sitting around doing nothing. He's like, exactly. You're sitting around doing nothing and you're getting paid for it. I'm like, I don't want to sit and do nothing. You could not pay me enough money to sit and do nothing. And I'm serious. If you're like, DJ, I will give you $100 million a year to sit at your house and do nothing, I would absolutely, unequivocally, within 10 seconds, say, hard pass. Because I'm a doer. I like to do stuff.
Well, see, you can take the 100,000 and just work from your house and just do your own.
100 million.
Or 100 million.
No, you can't work. You have to do nothing. You have to do nothing.
Hobbies.
Dude, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna be on like an island fishing.
Yeah. Right? Okay, island fishing, maybe. But if I have to do the
with
job.
the 100 million.
No, you can't. You have to do nothing.
Oh.
You have to sit at your house and do nothing.
Pro bono.
I wouldn't do
Do
it.
that for 1 year.
Okay, 1 year, yes. Right?
Yeah.
Now we're getting way off track, and these fantasy scenarios are going to happen. But I'm telling you, I have I've been given job offers. I've been offered north of 300,000 to do like these management jobs that would drive me nuts. It's more important for you to find a job you love than it is for you to find a job that pays the most money. Right? You do have to make some money.
Doesn't money buy happiness?
No.
It does.
Unequivocally, it does to
Money?
an extent.
Okay, happiness and joy are two different things. Happiness is fleeting and temporary. Joy is what comes from
You
living
need
life.
some educational
Not those
material.
government jobs. Do those government jobs pay
The
well?
rich says money doesn't buy happiness.
So the government jobs pay significantly less than industry jobs, right?
Okay.
I've learned from
Put that
the
Excel real quick so I can take pictures.
school of
It's gone.
You actually deleted it?
I did.
Bruh.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what got deleted?
It was fake numbers anyway.
Okay.
Right? Like,
Wait, where are you about to use these things?
401 classes, like put that in the curriculum is like,
Yeah.
because nobody like tells
When I was
you
a contractor.
how to apply for jobs, even in the classes they do. They're like,
I think this is probably more of a club kind of thing. All right, let's settle down, folks. I think this is kind of more of a club kind of thing. All right. So, what are we going to do today? We have 17 minutes. What could we possibly do in 17 minutes?
nothing.
I don't know whether or not I'm going to be here. I won't find out until later this afternoon whether I'm going to be here. I may be gone for a couple of weeks, okay? So what I want to do today, just in like 15 minutes here, I want to introduce you to Security Technical Implementation Guides, or STIGs. Does anybody know what those are?
Stuff that UAH doesn't have,
Yeah.
nor the government.
Okay.
The NSA.
So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to type in DISA STIGs. Security Technical Implementation Guides.
We're
Right?
doing manual sticks.
Hopefully it doesn't prompt me to put my CAC in.
You shouldn't have to for the public ones.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Like, there is a group of them that are CUI or whatever they're calling it these days, CTI, and then there's a bunch that are just plain unclassed.
All right. So let's go here to STIGs. STIG updates. I want to look at the STIGs. Here we go. Maybe this guy.
Document library.
Oh, you got to go to the docket. Somebody knows what they're doing. I'm glad.
Oh, no. I don't know
Okay.
how
Oh,
to
yeah.
do
Here we
it.
go.
You want to be DJ today?
Oh, God.
Come on, be DJ.
Yeah.
I think he's tired for
Yes,
today.
yes. I'm tired of being me. Somebody else take over. All right. So let's go and look at, okay, application security.
Yeah, we can do an AS&D stick. It'll be great.
Okay. So Adobe Acrobat Pro DC STIGs. All right. Let's click on this guy.
We're also going to want to get the stick viewer. Oh, no, this isn't the right thing at all.
What is happening? It's a release memo. Garbage.
Yeah, we don't want that.
This guy right here, right? Oh, it's a zip file. What is happening?
Oh, no.
Is this real life? Oh, I'm going to open the zip file. It's not my computer.
We still need
Well, you have to. Do you have to have Stick Viewer to look at this?
Yeah, pretty well. Go to the top one. So like this is gonna show you a bunch of stuff that is.
That's the README. Oh,
no.
whoopsie! I just wanted to show you guys how to do this. Recently closed. There we go. Okay, that's certainly not what we need. Wow, we're just doing lots of stuff. Oh, here it is, right there. Okay. Well, here's Adobe Acrobat. Where the heck are the real STIGs? Will the real STIGs please stand up? I don't know what that is. Google Chrome STIG. Here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, boys. Let's hope this works. Okay, you got to use this.
Yeah, we're gonna need.
Yeah, we're gonna need Stick Viewer. Will it let me download Stick Viewer without a CAC?
You should be able to get Stick Viewer, but you won't be able to get whatever the SCAF thing is.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the MSI.
I say this, I haven't actually tried to do it.
Oh, it's not gonna let me run this because I don't have admin privileges. And
It's an Amazon instance. More info.
Oh, I forgot.
Run
Run
anyway.
ain't my machine. Okay, well, we are definitely not going to do a privilege escalation on a university machine while we're recording, so, oh no, I can't do anything. Okay.
So we can, if you can get to the internet from your VMs, you can do it under Windows.
I know, well, I could
Yeah.
just use my other computer if I needed to, but we have 10 minutes, so. Stig, report, example.
You have like a guidance video on how to use Stick.
I was recording back all day. I just see you bad for you.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. All right. Okay, so Stigs tell you how to set up it tells you how to set up software or an operating system in a way that they feel is secure, right? What should the settings be, right? And then, so for right here, this is it's like a scan that went over and says, hey, these things are not in accordance with how it should be set up, right? So this one says the operating system must conceal via the session lock information previously visible on the display window for publicly viewable image. I can't adjust this, I don't think. Oh, I can.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. Oh, with a blah blah blah. Okay, with a publicly viewable image. A session lock is a temporary action taken when a user stops work, blah, blah. So it tells you kind of what it is, how to check it, and how to fix it, right? So this over here is telling us, hey, we have these things right here are problems. They are not compliant with how we think you should have this software set up, right? So imagine if I was going to Stig your house. I was going to say, here's how your house should be set up to be secure. I would say things like, make sure that all your doors have locks, and make sure that you also have, in addition to locking handles that turn, you have a deadlock on each externally facing door. Make sure that you have a glass door that also has metal bars on it that a human can't fit through, and that locks with a key from both sides. Make sure that your windows have bars on them. Now it's sounding like it's a creepy way that we're building a prison to keep people inside. Right? But your house, like, make sure that you have a security system. Make sure that you actually turn that security system on.
Do not
Right.
use those half-inch screws they give you for the deadbolt because it's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
don't
want your
use those.
deadbolt to actually work, you might need some bigger screws than those little itsy bitsy machine screws they give you, right? So the security technical implementation guides are telling you, here's how things need to be set up. So why do we care about this in this class? Well, we care about this in this class because there are tools like this that you can use to do a scan and say whether or not things are configured the way that they suggest, but they're not actually going to change stuff for you. You have to go in and make the changes, then you can rescan and show, okay, yeah, we fixed this. Okay? So, but what I would like to do, and we have about a month of class left, what I would like to do in this last month is start looking into making our own tool that's going to look at how we should have Ubuntu Linux configured. And then we're going to, so we'll start by looking at particular files to see if these configurations match. Okay, for instance, we should have, if you have SSH running, then you should have it where logging in as root is disabled. Okay, so there's a file, a configuration file for SSH on the machine that we can look in, and we can look for a particular line that tells us that the ability to log in as the root user is disabled. So we're gonna look for that file, we're gonna look for this thing in that file, and then if we find it, we're gonna say, yes, you're good, right? You're compliant here. And if we don't find it, then we're gonna report back to the user. And this is the big term project, like what the tool will do. The tool will say, hey, you don't have SSH, or SSH is configured for the root user to be able to log in. This is dangerous. Would you like to change this now? So you can tell it that you want to change it, and it will change it for you so that the root user can't log in. And you see where I'm going with this? Right? So the minimum password length is supposed to be 12 characters. It is currently set where you can have no password for a user. Would you like to change that? And you can click yes, and it will change it. So the minimum is 12, right? Or we're going to start with just the first project we're going to do is looking, and I'm not going to assign you guys anything between tonight and Thursday, right? You guys have been working really hard in this class. I hope you're proud of everything you've done. But there's plenty of stuff to do on test out, and I know you need to catch up on that. I'm not going to assign anything until we figure out what's going on with me and the thing, which I should know by tonight, right? So what I want you guys to do is not worry too much about what we're going to, about this. But if you want to get started, you can start looking at ways to make sure that Ubuntu is secure. The big thing I need you guys to do is to get yourselves an Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. Right? It shouldn't be too hard. If you're using VirtualBox, there are already pre-configured Ubuntu Linux virtual machines you can download. Should be just a couple of gigabytes in size. Okay? If you are using VMware, the same thing. When you go to download Ubuntu, it should have VMware that's ready for you. If you're using something else, you may have to get an ISO and make your own. But I want you guys to get an Ubuntu image that you can use to practice with your tool. You'll develop it on your Kali image, but then you're going to run it on your Ubuntu image, right? This is going to be like another machine that you're taking your script to run it and make configuration changes.
Do you have a specific version of Ubuntu?
So I think I said last time 22.04 LTS. That's a stable version, a good stable version. We don't want the newest versions because sometimes they have stuff in there. But 22.04 LTS. Right? So please get that virtual machine and come to class on Thursday, if we have class, with that virtual machine. If we don't, I will come up with a plan for, if we're not going to meet for a little while, I will come up with a plan for what we should do. I did get an update that it's likely, so that when I said I might be gone for 3 weeks, it turns out they were counting last week as one of the weeks. So hopefully, if I am going to be gone, it's only for a couple of weeks instead of for 3. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So thank you guys for coming in. I know this was not a traditional class. I did not have a particular assignment today, but for being here in person, I would like to reward you. So somebody please get out a piece of paper. You probably have zero confidence that you're ever going to get any points, because I don't believe I've graded a single thing in this class, unless it was like an extra credit or something. But if somebody has a piece of paper, let's take attendance. Just right at the top, class attendance, extra credit for October 24th, I think it is now. Can't tell anymore. Everybody write your name on this before you go, and I'll make sure to get you extra credit.
DJ, I
Yes.
just had to come up to you last class for the.
Let me, actually, is it something you want to be recorded, your question, or? Anybody have questions about the class that other people at home might have? No, okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now.